Okay, here we go, guys. Now we get to the good stuff. Stretch number 1.
So, first stretch is for the top of the arm. When you are using your fingers quite a lot, the muscles that make them move backwards actually start right up at your elbow. So, Aidan, if you could put your arm straight out in front of you, what I'd like you to do is just drop your wrist down so you're pumped perfect. So we've got a nice angle as far as you can feel, a bit of a stretch at the top there. And he's gonna, as he's already done, put pressure on the back of the hand to increase that stretch. It's quite important that you have your elbows straight because otherwise you put slack in muscle and you take the intensity away from the stretch. So we're going to hold this stretch for 30 seconds if you do that with us now. You can in fact add a little bit more intensity by just turning your hand outwards, that's it.
So where should I be feeling it when I'm...
You'll be feeling it from the top of the arm all the way down through the front here.
How do I know when I'm doing it too much?
It shouldn't be a sharp pain, it should
Okay.
just be a nice achy stretch.
Okay.
So, you know how to do it on one side, we're now going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So, straighten out the arm in front of you, put your hand out, drop your fingers down to the floor, and then put pressure on the back of the hand, and you should feel that stretch nicely from the elbow down to the wrist on the top of the arm. And we're going to hold for 30 seconds.
Should they do this every day or every time they go out to practice? Or?
You can do it every day because if you played the day before, then you're still going to potentially have a bit of tightening up and achiness depending on how long you were playing for, so it's always helpful. But yeah, just before you play as well as would also be good.
Do that?
Yes.
Cool, excellent.
Stop. So the next stretch that we're going to do is for the other side of the forearm. So you're going to put your hand out in front of you like you're giving a stop sign. So fingers up as much as you can.
I can't do this.
Everyone has a different range. So you're going to put it out as far as you can. Fingers
my
up.
range is rubbish, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
And then you put some extra pressure on the fingertips and draw the wrist and the fingers backwards.
Okay.
So you can help yourself with that with the stretch. So you'll feel a stretch on the underside of the arm, so from the elbow all the way to the wrist, down the front here, and we're going to hold for 30 seconds as well. So with all stretches, you only go as far as comfortable, and everyone is going to have different ranges.
So I've got a very limited range, haven't I? I've got weird arms.
Yes. I wouldn't say weird.
That's not a medical term.
No. So we're going to do the same stretch on the other arm. There is actually a slightly different angle that you can do it at, and as everyone has slightly different ranges, it can help to do it in a different way. So we're going to put the arm out straight and palm up this time, and then you're going to drop the wrist backwards, and same again, you're going to put some pressure on your fingertips and stretch the wrist backwards, and we're going to hold for 30 seconds. And again, you'll feel the stretch on the underside of the arm from the elbow all the way to the wrist. And you might even get a little bit into the hands as well. The next stretch we're going to do is for the neck and shoulders. So what I'd like you to do is, we're already sitting up nice and straight, if you tip your left ear to your left shoulder, and you might already feel a bit of a stretch down the side of your neck, but just to get around the back of the neck more, if you roll your chin towards that armpit, perfect, that's the one, yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah.
And then if you put your left hand just on top of the head, that's it, and relax the weight of your arm, perfect. And you'll feel the stretch from just the top of the neck all the way down and a little bit around the back of the shoulder there. So you're not pulling, we are holding for 30 seconds, hopefully you're holding with us. You're not pulling the head, it's just the weight of the hand adds a little bit of intensity to the stretch. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to tip the right ear to the right shoulder towards me. You'll feel a bit of a stretch straight away on the other side. You're going to roll your chin towards your armpits, and then for extra stretch, we're putting the right arm on top of the head and relaxing down. Perfect.
So not pulling, you said?
Not pulling, it's just resting
So this is just like the added weight of my...
of your arm.
Okay.
Perfect. is for the front of the chest. Lots of actions that we do is with the shoulders tilting forwards. So I'd like you to shuffle forwards on your chair to give you a bit of space behind you. And then if you link your fingers behind your back at the bottom there, perfect. You've already started doing it, but what I'd like you to do is roll your shoulders down and lift your chest up at the same time. And then you'll feel a nice stretch from your centre of your chest all the way up to your shoulders. And we hold for 30 seconds. So you don't need to arch your back too much. That's an okay amount, but if you start to feel any aches at the bottom there, just drop out of the arch a little bit. It's more important to maintain the upper body posture.
So as a teacher, something I hear a lot about from my students is that they get a pain in the shoulder, starting at the top of the neck and then going down into the shoulder. Is that down to bad posture, do you think?
Yeah, it's a little bit of bad posture and a little bit of repetitive action. So it's really important that if you are playing for long periods of time, that you have a break, probably at least 10 minutes for every hour that you're playing. And you can stretch, move around. Just changing activity is the important thing before you come back to putting yourself back in that same static posture. And the other thing is, if you can, just have good posture to start with, but it's not always straight back, chin over the top of your shoulders, but it's obviously not always possible, especially when you're learning and practicing. You need to be looking a little bit more. So make sure that you nip that in the bud by taking some breaks and stretching.
Cool, excellent, thank you very much.